Last time Mars and Saturn were conjunct was on April 10th, 2024, and it was in the sign of Pisces at 14 degrees 41. And 2 years later, here, today, and now, these two planets are going to meet up again, and it will be on Sunday, 19th of April, in the sign of Aries. So when Mars and Saturn, they join together, they start a cycle of hard work and consistent work, and it allows you to work toward one goal you set for yourself. And at the end of this 2-year period, because it's 2-year cycle, you reap the fruits of your efforts, and the result will be long lasting in your life. So this is why this is such a great opportunity for you to start something new now. So tell me, what have you been working on during the previous cycle, and have you been working with this transit before, or is this something totally new to you and you never tried it before? So the good news that it is starting now, and you are right on time to start working with this energy. So it's a great energy. It's a great conjunction to challenge yourself and to work towards this one goal you want to do in your life. And because Mars and Saturn are going to be an energetic guide, and they're going to guide you along the way during this 2-year transit, and it will help you to reach the successful outcome of your desire. Mars is action, Saturn is sustained effort, and this cycle is all about hard work. It's about commitment, it's about engagement, and if you're ready to put in the effort, if you are willing to arm yourself with some patience, because we need some patience too, and a lot of mental endurance also, well, this transit is one you will not regret investing in. It will give you a time frame to work with and a goal to reach with the guidance of the stars. Welcome to my channel, Astrocar, Knowing Yourself Through Astrology. I'm Cassandra, your astrologer, and on this channel I explore lunar transits, planetary transits, astrological patterns, archetypes, symbolism to offer you insight and guidance along the way. I mainly use the tropical sky, but also extend my vision into other astrological systems such as Vedic astrology or true sky astrology, because to me these are different doors that lead to the same place, understanding the self, understanding others, and also understanding the hidden structures of this world. So if you are into this, welcome to my channel. And if you are viewing this video, you are among the very first viewers. So thank you so much for being here, for your presence. And if you want to support my work, this is a new adventure for me, well, hit the like button and subscribe. And I will be very much delighted to read your comments. If you want to drop a comment, you are very welcome. So without further ado, let's dive into this Mars-Saturn conjunction in 2026. So I should be showing the chart of this conjunction on the screen. And so this Mars-Saturn conjunction will be exact on Sunday, 19th of April, 2026. It will be at 10:37 p.m. GMT time. It will be in the night time. So depending where you are in the world, this conjunction will be either on the 19th of April on Sunday, like in Los Angeles, it will be around 3:37 p.m. If you're in the Caribbean island where I am, it will be at 6:37 p.m. in the evening. And if you're in London, UK, it will be at 11:37 p.m. nighttime, right before midnight. And it will be on the 20th of April. If you are living in Paris, it will be at midnight 37 on the 20th. If you're in Dubai, it will be around 2 o'clock in the morning at 2:37 a.m. And if you're in Sydney in Australia, it will be in the morning at 8:37 a.m. So I'm giving you this time because it's interesting when you have a conjunction like this to do a little ritual, or, think about it, set your intention at this moment, write something down in a journal, things like this, to attune yourself to this energy. So this is why I give the time, and if you live in elsewhere, the GMT time will help you to convert the time to where you live. So the special thing about this conjunction, this Mars-Saturn conjunction this year, is that it is being joined by Mercury. Mercury is part of this conjunction this year. So we have Mars and Saturn at 7 degrees 51 in Aries, and Mercury is very close, about 46 minutes of arc, in 7 degrees 05 Aries. This means that Mercury, being a fast-moving planet, it will conjoin with Saturn first, and then it will conjoin with Mars later on, and it will continue its course through the sign of Aries till the end of the month. 12 hours, about 12 hours and 37 minutes, so the next day, it will be with Saturn, and 10 hours after meeting Saturn, it will be with Mars. So your mind is really going to shift how you view this conjunction. First, it's going to be, very realistic. It's going to be a reality check kind of energy, and then it's going to be more like focus on taking actions. I also note that the moon is now in Gemini, making squares with the nodal axis, which give this inner impression of, this Mercury-Mars conjunction, as well as the Uranus about to move into Gemini at the end of the month, or actually in 5 days from this conjunction. It gives you an impression of this decision is important in your life. It's going to impact your life. Because the nodal axis, the lunar nodes, are always karmic. It always has to do with life-changing events. So the moon here is really about your mind, your internal self. It's what's going on inside of you. It's your emotional body. So you will feel it emotionally. You'll feel this pressure that, okay, there's something important going on here, and you're really asked to tap in the Piscean energy to connect at a deep level inside of you with this energy. And you are also invited to let go some of the overthinking, of the need to control things through the South Node in Virgo. This year, 2026, guys, is a really huge year because lots of shifts are happening here. I've been listening to lots of astrologers talking about 2026. This is really the year of our lifetime, and we will look back at 2026 in the future and see and appreciate how huge of an impact it had on our lives, at an individual level, but also as a collective level, because roughly, just like this, just to take an overview, to give you an idea, we are having Uranus changing sign at the end of the month. It's been staying 7 years in the sign of Taurus, and right now, it is changing into Gemini, into tropical sky, of course. And also, we just had a conjunction between Saturn and Neptune, and this occurs every 36 years. So this is also the beginning of a new cycle. And both Saturn and Neptune changed sign this year on February 20th. They met at 0 degree Aries, which is the vernal point. It's the beginning of the beginning, the very first point on the zodiac wheel. And we also had Pluto last year, who switched into Aquarius. And so now Pluto is in Aquarius. So this is another type of energy. It's been in Capricorn for the past 15 years. So it's really shifting into something totally different. And also we are having Jupiter, who is going to change sign in June, I believe. It's going to go from Cancer to Leo. So we are basically going to have a movement from earth and water signs into more air and fire signs. And symbolically, this is a huge shift. It is also reflected in the Chinese calendar year, because we've been in water years before, and this year we're in a fire sign. I believe the next year will be in another fire sign also. So everything is firing up, if you like. It's really like a new beginning to things. And also note that we are in a universal 1 year too. So when you get all these signals about new beginnings plus new beginnings plus new beginnings, this really means that there is something new starting right now, not only for individuals but for the collective. So let's first talk about the Saturn and Mars in Aries. This is about consistent, imperfect action. Because Mars is in Aries and Mars is in its own territory. So Mars is very strong here. Mars is powerful. And Mars is all about drive, independence, anger, courage, willpower. While Saturn in Aries is in its full sign, meaning that it's an antagonist energy to Aries. While Aries is about speed, Saturn is about slowing down. It's about slow pace. It's about taking your time to think and strategize, and it's about focus on one goal, and it's about endurance. It's about sustaining the effort from the beginning till the end, till completion. And Mars is all about initiating things, starting things, but it's not necessarily leading to the finish line. So it's more of a stop-go motion, and Saturn is more of, okay, it's a marathon. You're going to run, but you're going to sustain your efforts till the end. There is a friction at the base of this conjunction, okay? It's a stop-and-go motion, and these two energies, Saturn and Mars, are trying to coexist and work together, and this is going to be our challenge for the 2 years to come. It's this conjunction won't stay because Mars is going to move fast, but if you set your intention now, it's like, the universe will record your intention, and this conjunction will stay with the goal you set to commit to. And so this is why it's important to understand what is going on right now, because this is an overview of the energies that will carry you to the end of the 2 years period. So Saturn doesn't like Mars running around like crazy, and Mars doesn't want to be frustrated by Saturn. So given these two contradictory energies, I like to see planets with vertical ladder of energies. You have the higher expressions or the higher frequencies of this planet, and you have the lower expression of the planets. So first of all, let me describe to you the lower expression, because it's good to understand when things don't work out, why and how it doesn't work out. So when you're in the lower expression of the Mars-Saturn conjunction, it's like pressing the acceleration pedal and the brake at the same time. So you want to do things quickly, you want immediate results, but things are not moving at the speed as you want, and external factors are slowing you down. So this makes you frustrated, it makes you angry, it makes you impatient, and things take time, but you're not willing to take the time, and you're gonna do it your own way, and then you're gonna end up scattering your energies. You're gonna run everywhere, or start something and start something else, and in the end, after this 2 year period, when you look back, you're gonna say, okay, nothing really happened because you didn't focus this energy in one same place. and this can give you impression that life is a punishment, nothing's going your way, and you can start to complain about it. So this is the energy that we don't want to fall into. We don't want the low expression of Mars and Saturn. We want the higher expression of Mars and Saturn. So the higher expression of Mars and Saturn is intentional action. So in this case, what you do, you use your willpower, which is the Mars energy, and you use your ambition and your goal you want to reach, and this is Saturn. It's about developing your inner self-discipline. It's about creating momentum with your action. It's about regular efforts, consistency over time. It's about repetition, persistent, even when you're tired, even when the days are not sunny, even when you have to start everything all over again because something happened. Well, you have to keep on going, keep on moving to your goal. And this creates, this teaches you to become more and more endurant in this experience towards your goal. So it won't be easy. In the higher expression, you're not scattering your energies, you are directing your energy to one goal. This is the tricky part because, especially nowadays, we are very much tempted to go and look in different places, and we haven't much learned to focus on just one thing and dedicate ourselves to just this one thing. And it's going to be a real challenge as Uranus moves into Gemini, because Uranus is, about this desire for freedom. It's about breaking free from systems, from constraints. And Gemini is about duality. It's about exploring everywhere, curiosity. So this new energy is going to push you to really explore many, many, many things. And this is going to be the very delicate part where you'll have to kind of canalize Uranus energy so it can really serve your project. It's okay to be, curious about things and to want more freedom and to learn many things, but in the logic of reaching the goal that you want, your actions still need to be aligned with your goal. What else? Yeah, in the high expression, the boss is you. You are the CEO of your project, of your efforts, of your discipline. So, because this conjunction is in Aries, and Aries is an individual sign. So it's really about you doing your effort and acting upon your own authority. There won't be anyone to tell you what to do and you just obey. It's really about you creating the momentum. It's about you really, giving yourself a kick in the butt, if I can say it like this. So in this chart, if we look at the chart, we are going to see that we are having a separating sextile between Mars and Saturn, which are at 7 degree 51 in Aries, and Pluto in Aquarius, who is at 5 degrees and 26 minutes. So there is a 2 degree and 25 minutes of orb. It's a separating sextile. It will keep separating, but the quincunxes to the south node between these three planets is still present, and it's going to maintain a little bit throughout the week. And this creates a figure that is called the yod, and or otherwise called the finger of God. So you have a sextile, and it's pointing to that south node. And the south node is the pressure point of this yod. It's the place where you need to release the energy, where the energies have become too much. It's like in a pressure cooker, there's too much pressure there. So there's too much Virgo energy in our lives, because this is a collective south node. It's a transiting south node, so everybody on the planet is having this south node in Virgo. And this means that, instead of acting freely, we might want to get it perfect first. Instead of starting to move and take action, you might want to optimize endlessly. So instead of following your action and following your sustained effort toward that goal, Virgo will make you analyze everything first and look at every tiny little detail. It can be over criticism, it can be over perfectionism, it could be the feeling of not being good enough, and so wanting to be better, more. And so instead of doing clean action, because you still need to act, well, you are trapped in the loop of overthinking, hesitating, acting anyways, and finally not being happy about the result and going back into self-criticism. So this is why we really need to give Virgo energy some vacation. And Virgo energies is about mainly our nervous system. It's about learning to cool down our mind, seek stillness, relax, tap into the Piscean energies, and go meditate, listen to some music, go outside, do yoga, tai chi, whatever you want, but activities that keep you still and low pressure on the cerebral side. If you hold on to these Virgo energies, so your mind is not going to take a break, and it won't create space for Mercury, who's ruling Virgo, who is in that conjunction, because Mercury needs to free up some space to sort of plan or strategize what you're going to do to make this goal of yours reachable. It's not just about physical action, it's also about thinking about what you're going to do. It's also about communication. It's also about investing your whole self in it, and also your cognitive features, your mind into it. So the yacht is going to stay here for a couple more days, and this gives us time to still work on this south node and really relax on this side, and create space so that we can shift our attention to Mercury in Aries, because we are going to need this Mercury in Aries energy. So to understand Mercury in this conjunction, we need to go back 2 days in time, around the time of the new moon, when Mercury was conjunct with Neptune at the beginning of the sign of Aries. This was a moment to connect with your goal and get insights and feel deep inside of you what you truly desire. Think that these days from last week were slowly building up energies. It was preparing you for this conjunction. So there's nothing coincidental here. And you may have some flashes, some insights, some inner knowing. Maybe these visions came into your dreams at nighttime, very late. Maybe you were, writing something down and you just had these downloads. Maybe it was while listening to some music or, in a relaxed state. This is the time where you could have some interesting insight from the Neptunian other side of the veil, so to speak. And what is interesting with this Neptune is that it's the ruler of Pisces, and it just entered Aries. As I said before, it had this conjunction with Saturn, and Mercury is going to meet up with Saturn too. So it's really that our mind is catching up with what we set as intention regarding this Neptune-Saturn conjunction 2 months ago. And now our mind is going to be able to really connect with it and start making plans to make it happen. So I really think there's a direct link between your previous goal from the 2 years before with this Mars-Saturn conjunction, because it occurred in Pisces and Neptune was in Pisces back then. And there is a connection to this new conjunction because we have Neptune and Saturn in Aries, and Mercury, who became direct at the time of the equinox, conjoining the North Node in Pisces, is now in Aries and bringing all this energy with it here. So maybe there is a dream project or an idea that appeared to you during last cycle, last Mars-Saturn cycle. So think about what you did between April 2024 and today, because it may give some clues, some hints of what you are going to carry into this new cycle. I also want to say a word about the new moon we just had, because we had Chiron and Aries in conjunction with the luminaries. So this new lunar cycle was also about taking notice of our wounds, something that needs healing from our part. It can be an emotional wound, a physical wound, or it can be an area of your life that needs healing. It could be your work, your children, your relationships with your authority, or it could be a house problem or anything of in your life. It doesn't have to be physical or emotional. So this new moon is saying, okay, this is the brand new cycle. It's the first new moon of this new astrological year. And the universe is asking you to take decisions and take some action towards your new goal, what you want to do in your future, in your immediate future. But you need first to heal. The universe cannot let you move forward without first feeling okay with yourself, first addressing what hurts inside. Because we need you to be, as well as possible, because you will have to, give a lot of energy to do what you want to do. So now let's talk about the Mercury-Saturn conjunction. So this is going to happen around 12 hours and 30 minutes after the Mars-Saturn exact conjunction. So by this time, Mercury will reach to Saturn. It will be at 7 degrees 55 of Aries. And so when Mercury reaches Saturn, Mercury will still be in that Neptunian vibe, very foggy, very intuitive. So the work of Saturn here is going to be to give to our mind, our intellect, more clarity, more understanding of what we have to do to get from point A to point B. So meeting Saturn is the first structural checkpoint. It strips away the illusion of all the fantasies that is not required to accomplish what we want to do. And this is also when the vague purpose becomes steps, timeline, decisions, and limit. So in Aries, it's not passive discipline, it's going to be decisive structure. It's about cutting away whatever doesn't serve your purpose. It's about getting real, getting realistic, and turning inspiration into a single direction. So basically Saturn is going to ask Mercury, or Mercury is going to ask Saturn, what is feasible now? What can I do now to take the first steps towards that goal? I also note that at the time of this conjunction of Mercury and Saturn, the Sun will now be in Taurus, bringing its focus and light towards Venus and Uranus, who are also in Taurus at the end of the sign and about to get into a close conjunction before going into the Gemini sign. So Uranus is at the anaretic degree. While Uranus is making the very, very last moves at the end of the sign, it's like wrapping up what happened during the 7 years in Taurus. It's going to give you some revelations, It may shake you up last time, so you take action regarding the changes that Uranus was making in your life for these past 7 years, which is a lot. You probably, change a lot of things in your life regarding this Uranus in Taurus. The thing is that Taurus is an earth sign and Uranus governs an air sign. So Uranus, which is about sudden breakthroughs and sudden changes, in this earth sign of Taurus, it's slower. It's maybe like a resistance electrical coil, where it accumulates energy, and this energy has a hard time going out. So it's more like earthquake. It shakes things up, but it really needs a lot of energy to shake things up. So if you haven't had this surge of energy to do a radical change in your life regarding the Taurus area in your life, the presence of the Sun, the presence of Venus, which is about the value, your comfort, your need of security, and Uranus there is really going to give you this last impulse in the sign of Taurus. So whatever it changed in your life will be a last long change, radical change. If there will be a before and after this transit in Taurus, this is for sure, and we can already see it at a more global level, but it is also true at a personal level. And this is even more potent because the Sun, now being in Taurus, is starting to square Pluto in Aquarius, and it's really going to trigger us to rethink our value system. Our sense of security is going to ask us to really surrender to this transformation, because Uranus is going to change sign anyways. It's going to change energy, and you will have to adapt to these new changes, whether you like it or not. Also, the moon is in Gemini at the time of that conjunction, and yes, the moon is like preparing your mind and your emotional body for this shift of Uranus into Gemini, and also it's resonating with Mercury in Aries, which is trying to formalize your goal into some tangible steps to move forward with it. So see the moon as a preparation phase internally. It's getting used to the Gemini energy. Just be aware not to scatter too much your attention, because Gemini is very much about curiosity, excitement of learning new things, and it's about discovering new territories, always through communication and stuff like this. But it can be a really good energy to work with as a preparation phase. Now, the Mercury will move 10 hours later into conjunction with Mars, and it will do so at 8 degrees and 35 minutes in Aries. So now Mercury with Mars is all about rapid decision making, direct communication, initiative in speech and writing, tactical movement. It's speed of cognition converted into action. So Mars and Mercury are pushing you to start something small but concrete. Make some calls, take some actions. There's no time for overthinking here. It's really about taking action as spontaneous as you can. But Saturn is still there. It's still in the close conjunction. So it's holding back this energy, or at least it will ask you to choose the wise side, and rather than acting impulsively, to still hold yourself a little bit and think a little more before you act, or choose consciously the action that you are going to take, because there is a risk with Mercury and Aries. It may speed up so much your mind that you can really forget that you have Saturn somewhere in the area, and you haven't integrated Saturn energy yet. So it may make you more impulsive, a little bit angry, maybe a little bit aggressive or pushy. So if you can avoid falling into these traps, it's always better to do so. Use Saturn energy because Saturn is slow, it's making wise choices. It's about choosing maturity rather than the youthful impulsiveness. You still have to move forward because we're in Aries, Mars is here, it's want you to set yourself in motion. But it has to be, a very mature kind of way of moving forward. So it's like, the Aries person or Aries energies. We all have any Aries in our charts. It's really about, maturing up, becoming wiser in the way we show up, in the way we take actions, in the way we make our decisions. It's not about just being impulsive, just to do because I think this, I want to do this, and I just do it. It's more like, okay, I want this, how can I do this, and what's the best way to do it without, putting a mess all around me and, being aggressive to people or being too pushy, things like this. We also have an ongoing trine between Vesta and Jupiter. Vesta is in Pisces, Jupiter is in Cancer. Vesta in Pisces is at 19 degree 50 and Jupiter is at 17 degrees 36. So this is a separating trine, and it's been active for a couple of days, and it will remain active for a few more days, although it is separating. But if you like, Vesta is all about our devotion and our inner commitment. It's our sacred inner fire. And Vesta is now in Pisces, meaning that to connect to your inner commitment, what feels sacred to you, this goal, your purpose of yours, you have to, go into meditation, into dreamy states, into relaxation, into spiritual practices or even religious practices, because these are the ways that you will be able to tap into this Vesta energy and truly connect to this inner balance inside of you, and because Vesta is also about harmony and about about maintaining something harmonious in your life, and also aligning your purpose with who you are and what you truly want to do in this life. And Jupiter is going to amplify Vesta's energy, and anything that you can tap into regarding this inner devotion and this connection to your inner self or your higher self, your inner voice, Jupiter will magnify it, and it will also be nourishing for your emotional body. It will be something that's going to, do you lots of good. And you can also, use this compassion you have, or this, higher understanding of things to help people around you, your family, your close entourage, or make your home a little much more welcome for these kind of soothing energies. So we also have now the moon in Gemini, who is squaring Vesta. So I've said a few words about Vesta trining Jupiter. Well, this moon squaring Vesta is going to, create some internal tension where, this inner knowing that you have tapped into on a more intuitive level. Well, the moon in Gemini is going to want to bring this to your mind level. So it's like you've been feeling things here in your heart, and now the energy is going back up into your mind, and it's going to ask you, okay, how can I, express this or formalize this or, intellectualize this energy so it can be used in the external world. again, it's a moment to be still gentle with yourself. You don't need to rush despite the Mars energy, because the challenge is really to be able to remain cool, steady, and take action without the excess fire energy. It's about tempering the energy. So now I hope you have a better understanding of this Mars-Saturn conjunction with the presence of Mercury this year. This is a great opportunity to start this new cycle of Mars, Saturn, and Mercury together, and use this energy to reach your goal. So it's a long run. It's going to last 2 years. So next time Saturn and Mars meet, it will be in April 30th of 2028. It seems far away, but time runs really fast, I tell you, really. So the start is now. Takes small steps. I advise you to set your intention. It's the moon is becoming visible again after the new moon, so it's a perfect time to set your intention. It's even the perfect time to take one little action. It can be like writing something down, calling someone, going somewhere linked to your goal, or doing something, just one little step. And from there you're going to start building up brick after brick until you create what you want to create. So discipline, it's going to be about developing this inner authority, this inner discipline. It's going to be about using your willpower and tapping into this inner fire, this Vesta energy, which is inner commitment and devotion to the thing you want to do. And it's a great opportunity to take. Don't be afraid of Saturn and don't be afraid of Mars, because Saturn is the wise teacher that wants his or her student to reach to excellence. So it's going to be, very demanding on you. It's going to ask you effort after effort. But you can, surrender to this energy and accept to grow with this Saturn energy. And in 2 years' time, when you look back, you will be really happy about what you've accomplished. So if you are interested by this experience, this is the moment to start. I'm also interested by this experience, so we may be, updating along the way how it goes. I like to look at tarot cards time to time and to understand the symbolism of these cards. It's been used for such a long time in our humanity. And there is one card that I think is interesting for this this conjunction. It really sums up this conjunction. It's the Chariot card, because Saturn would be the reins, okay? These cords that hold the horses and that control the speed of the horses and the direction too. And Mars would be the horses, okay, the two horses. And it's funny because we're in the fire horse year and Mars is in Aries, the fire sign, so it's very much linked together. And so Mars would be the horses, the war force, the power, the motion, the willpower, and the energy. And Mercury would be the charioteer, the one that's, sees the vision, sees the horizon, knows the direction, has the plan, has the map, knows where to go, where to turn, when to stop. Okay, Mercury organizes the trip of the chariot. And so we have Saturn that's setting the direction, your purpose, your goal. And we have Mars that supplies the force, the energy. It's going to be the efforts you make. Mars are the muscles, okay? And Mercury holds everything together and makes sure the chariot stays on course. So I find this interesting to bring up because sometimes along the way we can, drift away and forget our direction and why we're doing this. So think about the chariot card about for this conjunction. It's really kind of a shortcut understanding of what this is about. And every time you look at the Chariot card, you can, visualize, okay, I'm this Chariot card energy, and this is what I'm setting into motion. Because in tarot, the Chariot is about, managing to control two opposing forces, because the horses are looking in different directions, so it's important to make sure everyone is going in the same direction. And it's also a card of success, because the charioteer is, knows where it's going, it has a plan, it has willpower, and it is, it is sure that it will lead the chariot to its destination. There's another card that I would bring forward, and that is the High Priestess card. Because Mercury has been conjoining with Neptune a couple of days ago, and this is to me like, having a visit, a meeting with the High Priestess. Neptune is everything that happens behind the veil. The High Priestess is about these subtle energies. It's about our intuition. It's about these divine insights, this hidden knowledge, the unseen world inside of us. And it's giving us, very high inner spiritual knowledge that are really going to give us some kind of a fuel to carry us along this journey, this 2-year cycle. So I would use like the High Priestess card, so you can tap into your inner knowing, your inner Vesta kind of energy, this inner devotion, the sacred fire. And also, picture the Chariot card, because it really sums up the Mercury-Mars-Saturn conjunction this year, 2026. So, are you in for this experience? Are you interested to work with the Saturn, Mars, and Mercury conjunction? If yes, well, drop a word in the comments. I'll be interested to know who is interested by this conjunction. It's a really personal, cycle, because it's happening in Aries. So it's all about you, your efforts, your decision, your commitment. So it's up to you, really. You are free to decide what you're going to do with this energy. And but it's going to ask patience and self-discipline too. So as a reminder, Mars is action, Saturn are the fruit of our actions. So whatever, the results are going to be proportional to the efforts you put in. Little action, little results. Big action, big results. And all these action needs to be, of course, focused into one goal, not scattered. So I hope you like this presentation. This is my very first time here, and I'm very happy to start this new adventure with you. So I hope to see you in the next video, and take care. Bye.